Have you ever wondered what makes bodies tick? Are you creating the sexual reality you desire and require? Would you like to know more about what else is possible with bodies? What if your fantasies are not as strange as you thought they were? What if you could learn to be kinder to your body and kinder to others' bodies? Would you like to create confidence in the bedroom and beyond? How has your sex life or lack of it affected other areas of your life? Have you lost your mojo and wondered where to find it? Everyone has the potency to be a sexual superhero. Get ready to listen, sense, and play with the sexualness that is you. Now, here is the host of The Pleasure Zone, Body Whisperer, Milica Jelenic.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to The Pleasure Zone. I'm your host, Milica Jelenic. Before we get into tonight's topic and I introduce you to tonight's guest, I just wanted to give you a little background about what it is we're doing here on The Pleasure Zone. So a lot of what I am choosing to create with this show is to actually allow you to have more ease with your bodies, to give you tools, to give you ideas, just to actually to explore a lot of things that and topics that a lot of people aren't exploring these days. And sometimes they are topics that are sort of on the cutting edge as well, and people are starting to explore them. So what I really like to invite you to is to really start to expand your awareness of your body, to start to allow you to actually choose more of the sexualness you truly be, to really start to step in to who you truly be through allowing yourself to actually be that sexualness. And what is that? That's like being the sexual energy you truly be. That's like when you're walking down the street and the trees are happy that you're walking by them, and the dogs want to come out and talk to you, and the people are smiling at you. That's when you're really being you. And it's this beauty of just having you walking by everything and you adding your energy to everything that allows everything to just be that much more joy-filled on the planet, and for you to be that much more joy-filled. So this is really what I love to create this show. One of the things that started me on this journey was actually my study in psychology. So I have a Bachelor of Art in Psychology that I studied about 20 years ago, actually, and through that, I found that every class I was interested in really had a lot more to do with bodies and sexuality than it had to do with the judgment of people's personalities. I was more curious about, all kinds of things to do with sexuality. At the time, that's pretty much where we were coming from, was the judgment of sexuality, which I heard a really neat thing today from Dane here. I was live streaming a class with him, and Dr. Dane here, for those of you who don't know who he is, he's actually one of the co-creators of Access Consciousness. You can find a lot of videos of his on YouTube. And what he was saying today, and I'd heard it before, but today was one of those days where I just kind of got it, and he was saying that sexuality is a place of no receiving. It's where we actually are in so much judgment of what we will or will not receive that we cut off our receiving. So the study of sort of sexuality was actually a study in judgment, but it also was a curiosity to me, because there was so much to me that I couldn't understand why we were labeling all of this stuff, that kind of led me into sort of more exploration of that. So that's actually what I've been playing with over the years. And my desire to create ease in bodies actually led me to a lot of things. So between studies in martial arts, studies in healing practices, I joke, but it's true, I can break your neck and I can put it back in place, because that's one of the things I can do. So along with a lot of other energy work that I actually can do and have been trained in, and one of those things is the Access Bars, which is an amazing type of energy work. For those of you who have never tried it out, look up accessconsciousness.com. There are lots of videos on it on YouTube. Find a local practitioner and try it out, because I tell you, after 14 years of therapy, my very first session with the bars released stuff in me that I'd been holding on to for many lifetimes, and it literally changed my reality. And as a result, changed my relationship with everybody in my family and everybody else that was outside of my family, and allowed me to have way more fun people in my life. So definitely, if you want more fun, don't choose it. That would just be retarded. So I'm so happy to have Patty Alfonso on the show tonight. And please, for those of you who love YouTube videos, check her out on YouTube. You can even search her name, just Patty Alfonso. She's got a lot of different videos on YouTube. And Patty, I was playing with having somebody on my show who was a pole dancer, and I was like, wait a minute, Patty Alfonso. I was like, can't believe I haven't called you. It was really funny. I was like, well, I guess now's the time. How's it get any better than that? So I'd like to tell you guys a little bit about her before we get deeply into the topic of pole dancing for consciousness. So Patty is actually a speaker, facilitator, and is the author of an upcoming book called Your Body as the Creation of Consciousness. So look for that coming soon. She travels the world facilitating classes and working with clients. I've actually noticed a few YouTube videos where people were talking about classes they'd taken with her. One of them was in Denver. So Patty does travel around the world, so you can find her classes all over the world. She's the creator of Pole Dancing for Consciousness, The Essence of You, and Practical Magic. Her internationally acclaimed programs facilitate men and women into more intimacy with their bodies, with themselves, and in their relationships. Patty also has a gift for expanding business. Well, she must, or she would not have hers expanding all over the place and all over the world. So over the last 10 years, she's worked with various businesses streamlining their systems, increasing their sales, and maximizing their profits. So she has many capacities, along with being incredibly beautiful. If none of you have seen her picture, please check out her picture on either Facebook under Patty Alfonso, CFMW. I had to make sure those letters were in the correct order. Certified Essence Miracle Worker, right. So we got those right. CFMW. And so you can check her out on Twitter. You can check her out on Facebook, Patty Alfonso 777 on Twitter. You can tweet her. You can see her, and you can see her video on YouTube. So she also has a website, which I'll be giving you guys shortly. So Patty was actually born in Puerto Rico, and she studied sociology in Emory University. So she's a certified body-mind counselor, energy healing therapist, and is also an access consciousness facilitator. So what that means is she's effing brilliant. She's also been featured in Bella Mia magazine, The Yogi Times, Whole Life magazine, Whole Person magazine, and it's been featured on Southern California Life TV and the Best of Southern California. She's also been a guest on lots of other shows. One of them is Dr. Lisa Cooney's show, Beyond Abuse, and Dr. Lisa's been on our show as well, and Beyond Therapy, Beyond Anything, and many others as well. So thank you so much, Patty, tonight for joining us and for playing and exploring in the topic of pole dancing for consciousness. I have a lot of questions for you. So
yeah,
I was like, ooh, I was like, wow. So what is it that actually, to me, I was really curious. What is it that enticed you to choose pole dancing to begin with? Like, what was it about the movement that actually made your body go, yeah?
It just was. I was at the time in energy healing school, and for my certification, we had to pick a movement to include our body. And so I'm not a big fan of like yoga or running or anything like that. And my friend was like, hey, let's go try belly dancing. And I was like, yeah, that sounds like fun. And we went to go find a belly dancing studio, and we ended up at a pole dancing studio, and my body was just like that. When I was in energy healing school, I had this awareness that there was an energy that I wasn't accessing, and at that time it was like around my second chakra, around creativity and sensuality and being feminine and all this stuff. And it was, pole dancing just blew that open for me. And it gave me more access to like my female body, my body as a woman, my curves as a woman, the softness of the female body, which I wasn't really in connection with back then because I, have a lot of drive and a lot of masculine energy and I create a lot. And, that's what called me to pole dancing. And I remember sitting in my first class, there's no mirrors, right? So at least in this particular studio that I went to, there's no mirrors, lights are dimmed, it's all women. And I remember the teacher asking us, like, what are you doing? Like, what brought you here? And I was just like, I want to get in touch with, like, my inner goddess. I'm here to really explore my inner goddess. And everybody looked at me kind of funny, because people are there to, like, work out and tone up. And I'm like, nah, I want the energy that the pole, can gift me. And it's totally changed my life. And thank goodness for, like, following the awareness of what my body wanted, because, if you'd have told me, 6 years ago that I would have created a class called Pole Dancing for Consciousness, and then I'd be traveling all over the place, teaching and facilitating, I would have been like, no way, hell no, So it's been an amazing adventure. Ask me questions. What do you want to know?
That's so awesome, Patty. That whole, like, being part of that, tapping into the feminine, like you were talking about the shape of the feminine body, the woman's body, and, like, really wanting to be that more. I think it's such a beautiful thing. There's such a judgment that until a few years ago, when pole dancing became more of a thing that people were doing as an exercise and more for, like, themselves and their body rather than this thing that people do in bars, because they're feeling destitute, like they have no choice. Like, to me, this is pole dancing for consciousness is such a beautiful way of bringing that sensuality and that your bringing, like, the essence of who you are really out for people to see, and there's such a vulnerability with it that's so beautiful. So we're actually gonna, before I ask you any more questions, we're gonna head to break, and when we come back, I'm gonna just, like, bring it on. So
let's do it.
Awesome. So we're gonna head to break now, and when we come back, lots of questions for Patty, and if you'd like to call in, we'd love to hear from you.
Many of us have created a lot of limitations around sex and what we are willing to choose. Would you be willing to explore what has already been introduced as sexual practices on this planet? What else is possible beyond what we have already seen, heard, or thought of? What if now is the time for a totally different sexual revolution? Taking the taboo out of all aspects of sex, sexuality, and copulation. By tuning into the Pleasure Zone radio show with body whisperer Milica Jelenic, you'll receive tools, inspiration, and a foundation to allow yourself to receive more in your sex life, and quite possibly other areas of your life as well. Listen for The Pleasure Zone with Milica every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time on a2zen.fm.
What would you say if I told you that you could change your life in only 1 hour and all while lying down relaxing? Thousands of people all over the world have. What am I talking about? It's called Access Consciousness, the bars. The bars is an energetic body process that contains 32 different points on your head that, when run, assist you in releasing decisions about any area of your life that you have made solid and as a result cannot change. The bars is the first class in Access Consciousness, a dynamic set of tools and information designed to transform any area of your life. When you have a bars session, the worst that can happen is you feel like you had a fantastic massage. The best thing that can happen is your whole life could change. Go to accessconsciousness.com today to find a facilitator, to schedule a private session, or to find a bars class in your area. Are you willing to give yourself an hour to change your life?
What if there's nothing wrong with you? What if you're far greater than you've ever given yourself credit for? What if it's time to know the gift and the contribution you are to the world and to like yourself a lot more? Hi, my name is Dane here. 13 years ago, I started to truly ask questions. Actually, I started to be the question, and everything changed for me. Asking questions opens doors to infinite possibilities. And it's not about finding the answer, it's about being the question. Always. What I'm inviting you to step into is something that Einstein, Marie Curie, Newton, Da Vinci, Gandhi, Picasso, and Aristotle all knew to be true. What if no question is too big or too small? What if anything is possible for you? What if together we could create a kinder, gentler, happier world? Is now the time? Go to beingyouclass.com and sign up for a free video series, My Gift to You. beingyouclass.com. What if you, truly being you, are the gift and change this world requires? beingyouclass.com.
This is the Pleasure Zone with body whisperer Milica Jelenic. To participate in the program today, please call us in the U.S. Call 815-880-8255-TALK or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us at a2zen.fm. You can also make the choice to ask for comment by email by sending to Milica at milicajelenic.com. Now, back to the program.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Pleasure Zone. I'm your host, Milica Jelenic, and tonight my guest is Patty Alfonso. She is an Access Certified Facilitator who has a specialty class called Pole Dancing for Consciousness. And for those of you who would like to find her, you can find Patty on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. She's all over the place, and wonderful videos on YouTube as well. So just before break, I was asking Patty about what actually got her into choosing pole dancing, because, you know, there's lots of things in the world. It's not like pole dancing is usually the first thing on somebody's list, you know. They're like, hey, I'll be growing up, I want to be a pole dancer.
Yeah.
See, not usually how it works, but hey, it's cool if it is. Like, congratulations to those of you who are like following that, and it's been your life bliss. That's cool. Actually, I loved being nude when I was a kid, and although I have a daughter and she doesn't, it's not her thing at all. It's really funny because probably as a kid, I would have loved to have been like the pole dancer if I even knew that was a possibility in my world. Because I love dancing. I was a dancer as well.
Yeah. And it's funny, like, if you notice kids, they already have that sense of movement. You know, it's as we get older and, you know, we create things in our lives and, you know, abuse or whatever, that we start shutting off and locking up our bodies. I know I would dance around my house when I was little just all the time. So it was definitely in my blood as I grew up. And I never thought about pole dancing either. And then when it showed up, my body just expanded and it was so light and I just couldn't say no, you know. I'd like to say that I was like, oh no, I would never do pole dancing, but I was like super excited. So
it's so cool because there is so much judgment around it, and like even for me, and I've even said to people, like I had this judgment most of my life, and now it's a choice, and I'm just not choosing it. But I have this judgment that it was like if I had bigger breasts, I would have been a stripper, and then it was like really cute and funny. But I was like, well, actually, I probably would have chosen bigger breasts if I really was desiring being a stripper. If that's really what my point of view was, like I could be that if I had that, I probably would have created them. So whatever that is. But there's this like funny thing of women are on stage and there's movement, or men are on stage too. Like I recently saw this great video of this guy who's like he has a large body, and he was doing some of the most graceful pole dancing. I don't know if you've seen this one, Patty, but he's like a construction worker. It's called What Construction Workers Do After Work. And
I have seen it.
And he's like doing backflips, and I was like, wow, he's brilliant. And that actually was such like an amazing thing to me that you know, it's like really to me, it's like, wow, you don't actually have to be the most fit person in the world, like, you know, abs of steel to be able to do this pole dancing stuff. Where I was like, I can't do it. I don't have strong arms and whatever.
That is so, see, those are like a lot of the misconceptions that we have about pole dancing. First of all, like what you brought up, that it's just for strippers, you know, that it's a strip club thing, that it's this seedy, you know, thing that no one would ever choose, you know, like for real when they grow up. And there's all these like stigmas attached to it that for me weren't relevant when I chose pole dancing. Like at that point, you know, my body was just choosing it and I was just following the energy. But with that video with that guy, like he's really enjoying himself. He's enjoying his body, you know, and that for me is what one of the things that pole dancing opened up for me personally, and that I have seen open up in the women that come to my classes, is a joy of having a body and a joy of allowing the body to move how it desires to move. You know, when I go to the gym, like I also enjoy Zumba, and like I'll go to the gym and do Zumba classes, and this thing of like having to follow the routine of what the teacher is doing drives me just a little bit crazy because my body doesn't always want to do what the teacher is doing. My body just wants to move and listen to music and be happy and, you know, all of that. So it's pole dancing, the classes that I facilitate are such an invitation for your body to be however it wants to be, to move however it wants to move, to like allow the music to move your body. And you know, for women, the way that women's bodies move is different than if you were just like running on the treadmill or, you know, doing a kickboxing class or running or anything like that. It's just an invitation for a different way of being with your body. And the pole itself, as, you know, an entity, right? The pole, the energy of the pole itself is like, I have so much that I would like to gift to this reality, so much that I would like to gift that is beyond like the stripper or all of those judgments and points of views, that if we were willing to receive the energy of the pole, then it's life-changing. It really is. And all the women that I know that have ever taken pole dancing classes, all the women in my classes, they'll tell you, it changed my life. It unlocks like a potency that we have locked up in our bodies. Like when you think, right, oh, I can't lift myself upside down, that's insane. Like who can say you need so much strength? No, I can't do that. But when your body's like, yes, I can, and you allow your body and you do it, the potency that you're just like, oh my gosh, I am capable of so much more than I ever thought was possible. So it's quite the invitation.
I just think it's just such a neat thing. Like, I remember about 10 years ago, I worked with a woman, and one day she was like, I have to leave early. And she was actually going to pole dancing, and it was the first time I'd heard of it as an exercise. And when she said it, I saw her in a totally different light. Even just saying that she was doing it, I was like, well, I'd always thought she was beautiful, and then all of a sudden I was like, wow, and you're really sexy too. It was like something about it. It was like all of a sudden she became super sexy in my eyes. I was like, wow, it was a really interesting thing that just like shifted in my world. And heard on some of your videos, actually I was listening, it was Brett Rusha. He was talking about his girlfriend, and she hasn't come on my show yet, but he was talking about her and saying how much her body had changed, like the movement of it, and that he so enjoyed watching her. And how much can your body through these classes give to others? This is kind of where I'm coming from, is like, yeah, your body's going to love it, and how much do other people watching you super enjoy that movement as well, and just what you're creating with your body. It's such a gift. So
totally. I remember, like, it on that note as well, it does sort of, it does, the word that's coming up is no pun intended, but it bleeds into the rest of your life. There is a certain confidence that, like, gets activated, that you then take that into the rest of your life, whether it's your relationships or your work or just walking down the street. it contributes and creates so much on so many different levels, energetically, physically, emotionally, psychologically. It's a game changer. It really is. And for me, it's interesting. I mean, pole dancing has been around forever, and we've all heard, or maybe we haven't, but I have, like, the gift of a woman. And back in the day when women would dance on the fields to, like, help the crops grow, and the potency of women that has been that has been suppressed, or all those points of views. There is something that is unlocked in here, and then we took that energy and it got squashed, and then with the Salem witch trials and all these points of views about women and magic and, all this craziness, right? So it's like, Is now the time, for the gift that a woman can be to the world to start coming out? And is pole dancing for consciousness one of the ways in which we can activate that? And when a woman is fully empowered, feeling beautiful, feeling sexy, when a woman walks into a room and she is shining her light brightly, that sexualness that you were talking about earlier, it changes things. You don't even have to do anything. You can change an entire room just by walking in when you are fully embodying your body and your sexualness. And that is one of the contributions, that I've gotten from pole dancing as well. I was going somewhere else with that, but it went away. So does anyone have a question?
I think that's wonderful. And if anybody does have a question, please feel free to call in or ask. I love asking questions. I, tend to ask myself questions these entire shows for like an hour. It's a really funny thing, Patty. This show, we have a lot of listeners who love listening, and they will, send me notes after the show. And there's a lot of people who are very shy about this show, and it's very rare that we get callers live. It's like, I don't want people to know I listen to the Pleasure Zone, but I do. I do it by myself in my room when I masturbate, and it's great, and I love it. And I get reports like this, and I'm like, I'm so happy for you. Call in. It would be great.
Yeah. What would it take? What would it take for pleasure and sexualness and sex to not be such a taboo subject that we can't talk about it, that we can't just have an open conversation? I mean, what would it take for all of those judgments and points of views and projections and expectations, all of that? Can we destroy them and create it and really open up the lines so that we can all have a yummy, delicious conversation about, pleasure? I mean, it's the body's domain,
Yeah, there was something you had mentioned just briefly. You were talking about how you were going to Zumba classes, and it was at times it's a little annoying to follow the teacher. To me, the beauty of when you're doing movement and consciousness is that there is no following of anybody, right? So
totally.
It's for those of you who really find, to me, it's such a gift for everybody who is I can't stick to routine. I certainly don't even know what a routine is. And for most of my life, I made myself very wrong for it. My friends were doing exercise routines, and they could do this and they could that. Right. And the only reason I ever had anything that was sort of a routine is because I had a dance class at a certain time, so I was required to show up for it. Otherwise, I would have been, any day I felt like it, I would be going to train if it was available. But it's really, it's a really a funny thing where so many people will avoid movement because all these movements that have been presented on the planet for so long, whether it's yoga, Pilates, there's so many things that actually require you to do these routines or, this many times a day, do your 10,000 steps. And what if it's really about listening to your bodies? And I get that to me, the energy of pole dancing for consciousness is really that communication with your body on such a level that we haven't been having it, and where we've been judging it as, I can't put my leg there and I can't do that. To me,
I can't caress my body. I
No.
can't caress my body in that way, and I
in
can't
front of
touch
people.
myself there.
Yeah. Even if it's
actually, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, even if it's just like two people, right? And you're like, I don't know if I can touch my body and be all sexy in front of even. How many people aren't even willing to do that in front of their lover of choice? Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
You know, I give people this little exercise, which is an invitation for that, you know, just allowing your body to move however it likes to move. It's just to play with different kinds of songs. And you just turn on the song, let it be like your favorite song or a song that you think your body would enjoy, and do it with all kinds of different songs. Just get in your room, play the music, just stand there and just breathe. Breathe the music in, connect to your body, and you just stand there until your body wants to move. And if you're just going to stand there the whole song, that's fine. If you just want to sway back and forth, that's fine. Whatever it is that your body would like to do, allowing your body to move. Not you move your body, but allow your body to move. Allow the music to move your body. And do it with a lot of different kinds of songs and see what shows up. You know, like, how much fun can you have with your body? With your body.
I bet a lot more than we've been having.
Up.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God, yes.
Even if it's 5% more fun than you've been having, I dare you to just choose that.
Yeah, what would it take? I mean, if we were all having fun with our bodies, how different would this world be? If we were all just an allowance of our bodies and an allowance of what we would like to choose, having no point of view, and like just the joy of having a body in this world. How different would the world be if we weren't locking ourselves up, you know?
One of the things I'm aware of with that, Patty, is that instead of shaking hands, I would literally just ask people if I can hold their bums, which I do anyway. Yeah. But it would actually become more common. Who shakes hands? I hold your bum. Yeah. I love you. It's good. I think we would actually enjoy bodies more, even on first sight, than we think we're allowed to. It's like there's this thing of, I don't know you, so I really shouldn't enjoy your body thoroughly, or I don't know you, so I'm going to judge the crap out of your body because I don't know you and I might not ever see you again. I'm going to judge you as the most beautiful person in the world or the most ugly person in the world, but definitely going to judge it.
Right.
So, yeah. There's a lot of judgment towards bodies, and it would be.
And that's part of what locks up our bodies, you know, the impelled points of views and the impelled judgments. Our bodies, they don't have judgment. Our bodies are like, yay, happy, I want delicious food, and I want to move, and I want to play, and I want to run around, and I want to go to the beach, and okay, we can sit on the computer today, but tomorrow can we go do this? Like, our bodies don't have those judgmental points of views. They are here just to enjoy this reality. What would it take for us to catch up to their joy, you know, rather than trying to stuff it down because, you know, we're embarrassed or we're shy or we don't want people to judge us or, you know, all of that insanity that we've created in our world, you know. What would it take to just dissipate all of that and just enjoy ourselves? Have fun with your body.
Totally. And so my next question that I have for you, and you've kind of touched on it a bit too, in your classes you turn on the music and you just kind of get people to see, or in their own time to turn on music and see when their body would like to start to move, which brought up in my world, what about the people who are, say, in wheelchairs or who have had, say, hip replacement, or they have injuries where they don't have a lot of mobility? What is possible for people who have the point of view that they are not mobile when it comes to something like pole dancing and movement?
Right. Well, that's actually, you said it beautifully. They have the point of view that they're not mobile. Even someone who's in a wheelchair can still move. they have wheels. How much fun would that be?
Right, on a pole.
Like, use your wheels. Hello. And you can play with the energy of the pole in so many different ways. And what I have seen, class after class, is it is our points of views of what we think we can and can't do that stop us. Because I will ask my students, ask their bodies, okay, body, what would you like to do? And they tell me, they show me a picture right away of the trick that they want to do on the pole or the movement that they want to learn. And then I'll show the person, and the person is like, oh my God, I can't do that. No, no, no. And this is when we start using the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement. And we look at what is that energy that's coming up for you that's telling you that you can't do it, because your body very clearly wants to do this, So I work with the women that come to my classes to clear all that stuff away. And when you and your body are in communion, right, and for this class, even if it's just for that class, you allow your body to choose and you allow your body to be, then it changes everything. And I had a woman in a class that was like 80 years old, and she's like, I want to go upside down. And I was like, body, do you want to go upside down? Yep. 80 years old. She went upside down on that pole. We cleared some stuff.
Cool.
I helped her up, and there she was, I've had women,
cool.
You just talked about that video with the construction guy, and he's
Yeah.
heavier, but who says that the size of your body matters? It's, again, the joy of being with your body and being an allowance of your body, no matter what size it is, no matter what it looks like, no matter, all of that are the things that we play with and we look at in our classes. And like for me, before I started doing pole dancing, I myself had locked up my body in all kinds of wonderful, interesting ways. I wasn't the most flexible. I'm not the most flexible, woman in the world. I mean, I can't bend my legs up against my head or whatever. But at the same time, right? That's actually what I learned is as I kept doing the classes and as I kept moving my body, she kept loosening up. As I kept clearing my points of views about my body, she kept softening, clearing all that stuff up. I did become more flexible. I did become, a little more bendy. My body started to change. And I love it like when Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, when he says, use it or lose it. That is so. You have to engage your body. Use it in the sense of get it moving. Whatever movement that is, whatever movement brings your body joy, just start choosing it and start doing it. Because you will. I mean, that is how we end up all stiff and hunched over and 80 years old and we can't move. So, it's all about clearing those points of views and really being an allowance and trusting your body. That is something that really, really just trusting my body, trusting that my body wanted to do that particular trick, trusting that my body wasn't going to drop me on the floor on my head, trusting that I could hang upside down, trusting that my body, I don't even have more words than what I've said about that. It's really an invitation to a different reality with your body.
So truly trusting you and your communication with your body, asking your body those questions while you're in it, right? Or being facilitated through it. So to me, there's something very different between your pole dancing classes and the average pole dancing class. And for the listeners out there who haven't quite picked up on that yet, or have maybe never been to any kind of pole dancing class, can you kind of let them know a little what's different between you and the standard exercise pole dancing style?
Yeah, there are a lot of different kinds of pole dancing classes, and, the more I do my classes and then attend other classes, I get how different what I'm creating and what I have created is. So there's pole for fitness, where you go to the gym and the teacher, you're working out and you're using the pole as a tool to work out, like you would do cardio bar or you would do something like that. There's like competitive pole dancing where you go to like a pole dancing competition, and it's really about how many tricks you can do and what you can do on the pole and how many tricks can you fit into that routine. That is so not where I go with it. For me, pole dancing is an invitation to sensuality. It's an invitation to more pleasure with your body. It's an invitation to open and activate so many energies in your body. And when you come to one of my classes, we do a warm-up routine, which is a lot about like touching your body, right? I mean, it's very intro. Like if you've never been to a class, I don't want to scare you away, but like really enjoying your body, like enjoying the different textures of your clothes, rubbing on your skin. What does this stretch create? What does your hair feel like caressing your face as, you know, we have our hair down, and what does that feel like as you do this really slow, yummy neck roll? Feeling every muscle. Like it's really about really connecting to your body. And then when we go to the pole, I literally ask the bodies in the class, what would you like to learn? What would you like to get out of this class? And then the bodies start giving me information, and we go from there. The class is created with the women in the class and the bodies in the class, and I have had men in my classes, and it's, you know, it's a creation in that moment. There is no like, this is what we're going to do now, and this is what we're going to do then. It's not like that. And it is certainly not about how many tricks can I do on the pole. Although we do learn some tricks, it's not about how many. It's really more about like, what does your body want to do right now? And you'd be surprised the things that come up. You know, like when I had a student once, and she kept pushing herself, and her body was like, I'm done, I'm tired, like, and I looked, and, you know, we facilitated that part of like everywhere where you override your body because it's what you want to do, because you hear your body, like it's tired, it wants to like relax and rest, and, you know, so it's just really amazing the communication that starts to open up with your body through these classes. And that's really what it's about for me. I did a showcase once with a bunch of pole dancers in Los Angeles, and, you know, I'm just different. I mean, what can I say? You know, I watched dancer after dancer go up and just push her body and do all these tricks, and it was all very gymnastics and like just again like that really masculine sort of like, how many tricks can I do? There's just this really intense pushing of energy, and I got up on stage and I just pulled, and I luxuriated and enjoyed my body and sauntered around the stage, and like it wasn't about how many things I was going to do. It was about the energy that I was being with my body and the invitation that is to something different, and then being that every day.
Is that one of those, I saw a couple pictures in your profile on Facebook, and is that one of the pictures on there? There was a picture of you on a stage, and it was like, wow. Yeah, I was like, wow, that would have been a day where you got a lot of money. That was like a wow moment in my universe to see, like, and I've never met you, Patty, that I'm aware of. I might have through classes at some point, but I don't know.
I think we met briefly, like at an SOP in Toronto.
Maybe, yes.
You were standing outside, and I think
holding bums?
Very briefly.
Yeah.
And
if that was me doing the bum holding. Cool. So there is this like amazing, I saw that picture and I was like, wow, for one. What I became aware of is the difference, and I've only seen strippers like once in my life before, but there is like a lack of joy in so many of their universes with their body or with what they're presenting, or like the obligation. And then the joy of you being on that stage was like, it was like making love to the entire audience. So there's such a difference to me, like the difference between pole dancing for consciousness and just like doing it as a job. Like there's something completely different about it, and it's an invitation to me to something so much more scrumptious, like you could just want to bite into it. It's so great. It's so cool.
Yes, totally. And like the potency that becomes available when you're that present with your body and you're really enjoying every single movement and you're really luxuriating. That's the word that comes up for me. Luxuriating in the joy and the pleasure of your body, and the invitation that is to everyone in the room. I had so many people come up to me after that. They were just like, I've never seen anything like that. I've been in classes like where I've done like little sample dances, and the women start crying because they've never seen or experienced that, level of just enjoying our bodies. How much do we judge our bodies? How much?
A lot. Even a lot. Like even after all these classes in consciousness that I've been taking, and all the work I've been doing for years and years, I still have this awareness every once in a while that I'm really freaking aware of other people's judgments of their bodies. Before I have that awareness, I'm usually judging the crap out of me, going, "Oh my God, blah blah blah," and then I have to stop myself and go, "Wait a minute, okay, wait, where is this coming from? Who does that belong to?" And all that sort of stuff, all those questions, right? So, there's just so much of it going on in the world, and I'd actually like to. You've mentioned a few tools, and I don't know if people are going to catch them so much, so I'd like to make them kind of blatant for everybody who didn't notice. So some of the things that Patty's been talking about is like luxuriating with your body, to me, is a tool unto itself. So if you haven't ever in your life actually really enjoyed touching your own body, or like you were saying, Patty, in your class, everybody just lets their hair down and then just kind of feel that. Or they might even just feel their own arm, or whatever it is to start to actually become aware of your body and how it moves and how it feels. That's actually a tool, guys. So I know she's talking about it and then we do this. It's a tool. Please use it. You can use it in your everyday life, even if you don't go to her classes. She's giving you a great gift.
Yeah.
So please
go
use it.
outside. Yeah, just go outside and feel the sun on your skin. Feel the wind blowing in your hair. Feel the raindrops falling on your head and wetting your hair. All of that very subtly awakens the sensations of your body. And with that, you become more aware with your body. So, yeah.
What would that do for your sex life, Patty? If your body's more aware, would your sex life, be freaking phenomenal? Or would it be eh?
Oh, my gosh. I don't even have words. The energies that become available with your body, the pleasure that ignites, and energetically, just it reverberates. Sometimes, when I'm with my boyfriend, I feel like we are changing universes, because we're both healers and body workers, and it's when your body is open and you are really, your barriers are down and you're receiving and being with another body that also their barriers are down and they're not judging each other and it's beyond anything that I could describe in the minutes that we have left. That may be another topic for another day. Yeah.
We could bring on other people who have gone to your gospel dancing classes and discuss how that's actually improved their sex lives. Because
I had a girl. Totally, I had a girl who, and she was a dancer, and we did a few things together. And in the class, she just kind of started crying, and she's like, I've never been with my body this way. Even as a dancer, I've never been vulnerable with my body this way. And she did. She called me up later. She was like, I went home and I had the most amazing sex that I've had ever. I was so open. My body was so relaxed, and she said it was one of the greatest sex she's ever had. So there you go. How does it get better than that?
And so there's like a kind of like a dichotomy in that, right? Like a lot of people are doing sex from a not relaxed place. They're doing, I'm all pumped up, my adrenaline's going, and I'm like, and I'm horny, and I'm like almost angry because I'm so horny, I have to do this. It's like push. And so talking about sex from a place of being relaxed is like, how unusual is that? Like, how fun would that be for you to be completely relaxed?
And if you have locked up your body throughout your life, and if you're walking around and not really, like when I say go out and feel the sun on your skin and the rain and the wind, if you're not even willing to receive the pleasure of that, then how much pleasure could you be having in your copulation, in your sex? Like before I started pole dancing, like I had no sensation in my genitals. I was so shut down that I was not experiencing pleasure with my body. And sex from that place is so not that fun.
No, it's not. I actually am very aware of that because until literally like about 3 years ago, and using the tools of access consciousness, I literally felt like my vagina was frozen. And my friends would talk about orgasm, and I could have like clitoral orgasms because I'd been masturbating my whole life, but and so I kind of like trained myself to be able to, but to have to actually have sensation in my genitals or actually anywhere from my hips down was so foreign to me that it was almost like the first time I felt something, I literally felt like I was jumping out of my skin. It's that kind of a wow moment, like, wow, I'm alive.
Yeah, and imagine like, if you expand your energy way out and your body is relaxed and your body is expanded all the way out, there's the orgasm that is just in your genitals. But imagine like a real full-on, full-body orgasm that begins in your genitals, but then also extends like throughout your entire body. Your toes are tingling, and it's relaxed. Not that like contraction that we're taught, but relaxed. And then imagine that orgasmic energy extending even farther out. I'm telling you, like, universes are available. And when you start changing worlds.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's when you start changing worlds. When Patty was talking about her and her lover, like, changing worlds through sex, it's when you're doing it from that space of contributing energetically to the entire universe while you're allowing yourself to have an orgasm, which is different than making it very solitary, confined, personal, and like focused, focus. Yeah. Gotta get this right. Come on. So
we are like we are all connected. There is no such thing as just you having an orgasm just in your room with the lights turned off. We're all infinite beings, right? We are in this communion, in this earth, in this reality. We're all here with nature, with beings, with, that it's such a lie that you're just you alone in your room with, I don't know, for whoever that freaks out, right, wrong, good, bad,
right. I know.
Choice and beyond.
That is a really funny thing.
Yeah.
People's world are like, oh my God, close the windows, turn off the computer.
They can see me.
No. Is it ghosts? Is it, oh my God, the whole world's watching me. Yes, we're all, and we love it. And thank you for having orgasms for us.
Yeah.
We love that you love pleasuring yourself. Thank you.
Yes.
And we hope you love that we love.
After all.
Yeah, we hope you enjoy that we have pleasure too. We hope you receive from it. It'd be really lovely if it could be like this really great interaction. It could Patty, guess what I did today? And Patty's like, thanks, you masturbated and I was included. And that's wicked. Love it. That'd be just great to call up your friends and go, I masturbated today and you were included. How's your day today?
What a different world it would be.
So nice.
I remember when I was 13, I was messing with my mom. Like I was on purpose freaking out. I'm like, Mom, I think masturbation should be taught in school. Like, we should just, teach us the best way to do it to get,
Totally.
The most
Patty,
she was totally freaked out.
I got to cut Patty off, but thank you so much.
Thank you for choosing to listen to The Pleasure Zone. Milica Jelenic will return next Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on a2zen.fm. We hope you'll join us. Until then, have the best week of your life by choosing to be turned on and tuned in to your body.